Hey guys, so it's been a long time, but today I wanted to make a YouTube tutorial. Well, not really a tutorial, just an overview for something that I've made that I think many of you guys will find useful. So right here I made a very simple script, which is basically a telekinetic push sort of thing. And it's very simple. Like it took me about an hour just only because I had to set up the Ragdoll and everything. But really it takes about like 10 to 15 minutes to script if you already know how to do it. But the ragdoll isn't the best, but it's honestly the most efficient way that I could have made it so that you guys would understand. Because I know that it's really hard to understand when you're a beginner. And I made a very simple script that you guys can use. And the ragdoll is very easy. Let me just show you guys. Let me clean this up. And let me go to my Roblox studio. Okay, so this doesn't really work on dummies, but I'll show you guys anyway. Like the ragdoll doesn't work on dummies, and actually, let me just show you guys. By dummies, I mean like NPCs and stuff like that. I haven't made it so that the ragdoll works like that. That's a little glitch, but it won't happen a lot of times. Okay, so as we try to do it here, see it works. It just doesn't do the ragdoll for that, but it's good enough. So what it does here is that it basically places a body force inside of the character, and if you don't know what that is, it's sort of like, let me show you. Let me go to run. So let's say that I have a part here, and now it's deprecated. I realize that, but for a beginner, it's fine. It's a little bit complicated to learn some of the other new stuff. I know you guys, at least some of you guys won't understand this, but I mean, if you're a beginner, but a body velocity is no longer, I mean, you can still use it. It's just that it's suggested for you not to because there's a new alternative, and that new alternative is called the line force, I believe, or linear velocity, something like that. And you basically, let me show you. You basically do this, and I think this is the one. I really haven't been playing around with these, but yeah, it basically does that, and it's sort of, in essence, that's what our script does. But we use body velocities because that's a lot easier. And you can't find these unless you do this or do it through a script, because if you like search it up over here, it won't work anymore. Body velocity, it's just not available. But you can still use it through scripts. So what I'm doing here, that's basically what it does. This one is just programmed to take you up, but that you can just do that, and then just increase that. It's very interesting stuff. But that's basically how our telekinetic push works. It basically places one of those little things inside of the person, and then it deletes it like a second after. So it's very fast and um in that sort of way. So let me go back to normal, and let me go to this thing. So I made it very easy for anyone to. Sorry, that's like a glitch, but I'll fix it later whenever I release this. So the cool thing about this, I made this little thing. It's not very intensive, so like it does run a while true loop, but it shouldn't really affect your game unless you're like using hundreds of these. But it's a pretty efficient system for beginners. And this basically activates your ragdoll, and you just put in like the amount of time that you want it in, so like 10, and there you go. It makes you ragdoll. And it's not the best ragdoll, I know. There's another one that's an open source one, but it's like amazing that I use it for most of my games. But I'm not gonna list it down right now only because it's a very complicated one that you need to figure out yourself, and I don't really have the time to explain it all to you guys. But this should be easy enough for you guys if you're starting to script. It should be fairly easy. Like, let me just show you. This is the command prompt, which I can just put in a single line. Like I can just put in single lines of code, and this basically I'm telling myself to equal. So basically, what I'm typing right now is to go inside of my body, find the ragdoll thing, and change this number to whatever. So I'm gonna, oops, sorry. So I'm gonna change that number to 10, and that's gonna make me ragdoll. And then this is just gonna do a little countdown, and then 10 seconds are gonna pass by, and the ragdoll's gonna work. So that's basically how our telekinetic push works. Now, you guys, I don't think it helps a lot for me to just like start like writing stuff down that like I know you guys are just gonna copy, but if you guys can just go over this, it'll be very helpful if you're learning how to script. Now, this isn't really a tutorial. I'm just like it's something that you can learn from, but I will do like excuse me. I will do like a proper tutorial on how to do this later on. I think I'm gonna do one where I'm gonna do like a magic spell where you can set a person to sleep and something like that. So let me just go over the whole thing. Okay, so these are our events. We have one for Ragdoll and one for spells. Now, this is the Ragdoll. You guys probably won't need to use this. Let me just delete this because you don't need that. Now, this is what it basically does. It creates a bunch of like welds and constraints on the character, but they're all deactivated. That way it doesn't really... So, like, basically, whenever you activate these, the person's just gonna immediately fall. And then if you active if you deactivate them, the person will stand up and they can continue their regular functions. And it's really easy to control. I already showed you guys how to do that with simple little scripts. And this is the thing that manages all the spells. Right now we only have one spell, and this is basically it. And here's a telekinetic push one. And okay, let me show you guys for those that I just want to customize some things. Okay, so I already made the whole thing. Let me delete this because you don't need that. Okay, so I already made the whole thing. As you can tell, it's a very short script. It's not really that long. And I already added in a server debounce, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically the cooldown. And this is going to be very helpful so that players don't like attack. Like, let's say that a person is being pushed, and then another person immediately pushes them again. What that's going to cause is for the person to stay down longer, and it's not going to really be fair. So I made it so the way that only one person can be attacked by another person. So like a person cannot be pushed by multiple people at the same time. And if you guys want to change the cooldown time, here is I made it 2 seconds because I just want to make it really fast, but you guys can make it longer. And I mean, I feel like 3 seconds is enough, honestly, because I made it so that the person stays down for 2 seconds. So I feel like 2 to 3 seconds is good enough, but you guys can customize it all you want. I didn't add an animation, but if you do want to add one, just do this. So what we're doing here is that we're creating an... Oops, I'm like having a stroke. Okay, so in here, you're gonna type all of this, and I hope that's correct. If not, just do this animation, and then type in the animation code, and then just copy it. And I don't really like this. Okay, just like so. Whenever you publish an animation, you should get a code, and just put in the code after this. Just like put it after these things. And then, okay, let me just pretend that I do have a code. And then we create a track. And then it's like an anime. We do character dot, now we do humanoid. Oh, I don't have that listed. So character dot humanoid dot animator equals the load animation. And then we put animation inside of it. So we're basically putting the animation that we just created, we're putting it inside the animator. So we're basically putting it inside of the character, okay? And then what we're gonna do, the final thing is play, and that's it. The animation should play, and all of that. Make sure that your animation, like, the length of the animation is similar to that of the debugging. So like let's say that you have an animation that takes 10 seconds long, then maybe make the debounce like 10, 13 seconds so that after the animation's over, the person has like 3 seconds left to use that power again. So that the animations don't overlap over and over again. But yeah, that's what you basically do if you want to add an animation. This is, if I leave this empty, it just won't work. So that's why I didn't really add it. But I guess if you guys want it, I can just do this. And if you guys want to use this, just put in the code here. Remember, it can only be numbers. You cannot put anything else or it won't work. And then just delete this and that, and then you should have it. It should be available. Okay, now that we have that covered, I already taught you how to do this. And this is another script that basically enables the ragdoll for the person. And it's fairly easy. That if you guys want to explore more into my scripts, then sure, you are free to do so. This is an open source kind of thing. And here, so anything that's underneath starter character scripts, every character will have it. So this is the ragdoll thing that you guys probably saw. And here's the ragdoll manager. So basically so this is basically like the server telling the player. So yeah, the server telling the player to just like chill, and this will activate the ragdoll. Don't delete any of those things because it'll just interfere. But if you're an experienced coder of sorts, then do whatever you want with it. But for my untrained audience, I would suggest not to delete anything that you don't know. Or at least, like, I encourage you to mess around. Like, honestly, this is gonna stay up forever, so just, I encourage you to mess around, do whatever you want. And if the game breaks, then just, like, do it again. Just, like, erase all of these things. Or start a new base plate and just transfer it over again. It doesn't really matter. So let me start preparing all of these things so that you guys can check it out. I know there aren't really a lot of tutorials with Ragdoll for telekinetic push and things like this. Next time I will do a proper, so stuff like this. I will do a proper, let me see. I don't know why like initially it just doesn't work. It's not working right now. So maybe there are a few bugs and kinks to like figure it out. I don't know why it isn't working. Alright, I'll check that out after I finish recording and check how long this video is. Okay, I see. Okay, 12 minutes, that's not too bad. So I'm not, oh, there we go. I don't know why that wasn't working. Huh. Okay, I'll check up on that because this is really weird. But I know there aren't really a lot of tutorials about this, so I will try my best to share what I've learned throughout. I've only been scripting for like eh, a year and like 3 months, but I feel like I've learned a lot, enough to teach you guys. So I will be trying to do my best to do so. I wonder what it is, like, because this shouldn't really be happening, but I'll check it out before I publish the module, and then I'll teach you guys. So I'm just gonna pause the video right now and fix all the bugs. Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention is that if you want to change the keybind, for example, right now it's Q. If you want to change it to anything, just like delete Q and add E, or maybe A, X, that's a good one. T, whatever you guys want. Like honestly, this is all up to you. I'm gonna keep it as Q because it's easier to just click on. Like I don't really have to be stretching my fingers across the keyboard in order to like press O or something like that. But this is all up to you. You guys get to decide it. I'm gonna be checking because I'm not entirely sure why this isn't working, but let's see. Maybe if I do it like this, yeah, that might be easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna be fixing some stuff here. I know it might be a little bit boring, but it's essential. Scripting can be boring sometimes, especially when you have a lot of bugs. And I'll tell you guys this, scripting can be very time consuming. Not to, even just to learn, it might be time consuming to begin that. Whoops, there we go again. Like, it'll take some time. For example, I remember this, like, I remember creating my first, like, door. And I was so happy that day because I created, like, a door that opens and closes by pressing a button. And I did that just by, like, like, created a script and then I was like, workspace dot door. And then I just let, like, I remember just like letting the autofill do the work, so I would just like go through this and just like do the autofill and then just like, ooh, if I change this, like let me just copy this. Ooh, if I change that to this, then like that makes this and that, this is how you learn. You just like let the autofill do the work, or like those kind of things. How you learn. You gotta experiment rather than just like copying stuff. Oh, there we go. It works. But because the gravity, I changed the gravity of the game. Oh, I think I know what's going on. I changed the cooldown, didn't I? Oh, I did. I'm so dumb. Did I? I don't know. Let me check. Where is it? Telekinetic. Yeah, I did change the cooldown. So there was nothing wrong with the script. I just changed the cooldown and made it really long. So that's why. So that's how you know that script works. So, just change the cooldown as you can. And I'm gonna prepare all of this for you guys to model. So spell. I don't know. What should I name this? Like maybe spell basics. I will be updating this a lot. So like as I add spells, this module will be where was this at? It will be like increasingly updated. So like this is in replicated storage. Replicated storage. Then model. I'm just renaming this so that you guys servers, so that you guys can know server script service, so you guys can know where to place it at, and I feel like that should be useful. And then all of this should go on. Okay, so model, and then that goes on like starter, character, scripts. Okay, so what you guys are gonna do is that once you okay, so I'm gonna publish this. Publish as plugin export. How do you even publish things? I haven't done this in a while. Convert to package, save to file, save to Roblox maybe. Yeah, whatever. Force package. That sounds wrong to some people, but let me just continue. So I'm just gonna submit this, distribute on marketplace. What does this mean? Can other people access it? How many assets can I publish to the creator? I will allow comments. Hopefully nothing bad happens. But so what you guys are gonna do is that you guys can just go and like um that's not gonna work, is it? Yeah, so you just go like this and it should have, yeah, it should just transfer it over. And see, I just got an exact copy of it. So like, okay, what you guys are gonna do is just like put it here. So starter, just match it with the name and then just press Control U. Or if you don't feel like doing that because you don't know where the keybinds are at, just go and put ungroup. Then server script service goes under script server, or like under this. It's the exact same name. It's meant to guide you. And then you go ungroup, and then you go to replicated storage. And where's replicated storage at? There it is. And then you go to ungroup it, and there you go. So it's all done. It's all set up. Now you can just delete that because you don't need it. But I hope you guys find this helpful, especially with the ragdoll thing. I know I struggled a lot whenever I first started out. I remember Because I remember when I didn't know that ragdolls existed back then, and so I just made an animation of a person falling, and it was horrible. Like if you guys ever played my old game, it was called like the Vampires Original something, the Vampires Original Legacies. I still have that game. It's a little bit active, but whenever it first started out, oh my god, like the animation was literally a person flopping down on the floor, just like immediately just falling down, and it was like really funny and hilarious. But at the same time, it was like I was just in like in my flop era, I guess. It was funny for a little while until it got annoying. But I learned how to properly do Ragdoll, and I hope that you guys find this very easy. I know that if you're a beginner, you probably won't find it easy, but as you grow, you'll find it really easy as you grow your skill sets, and you guys could probably do a lot better than whatever this is. I honestly have never met another scripter, and I've never seen their work. I don't know how other people script other than like YouTube tutorials. I have no idea how other people script. So I don't even know if this is like the most efficient, but for me, I've never faced any issues. And it's similar to how my game is set up. But yeah, I just heard in the background that my little brother and sister were screaming. But okay, so in conclusion, I really do hope that this helps a lot because I will be working on some other things like honestly, I could make a like this right now, you could make a sleeping spell really easily. I just won't do it right now because I'm running out of time and I have tests coming up. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Or not even enjoy, I just hope that you guys find this helpful. I will be linking down the mojo that I just published, or the link to it in the description so that you guys can check it out. And I hope that you guys can learn a little something from all of this because I know it can be a little bit difficult. Thank you.